Okay, so I'm back on this thing after a few days. Had to go out for work, but I'm back, and I maneuvered that deck out from under the mower carefully. I sprained my back a while back, and I'm still not all the way over it, so I have to be pretty careful about moving around. So, but anyway, I got it out, and it's definitely in need of a cleanup, and we're just going to give the whole thing a cleanup. Got the pressure washer over there ready to go, and all that. So this thing has got some bad spindles in it. I think I showed you that before. Yeah, yeah. So loose there. This one's not too bad. Probably would survive without even having to be replaced. Matter of fact, I might not replace it because it's not bad. So I might just do the two outers because this one is also noisy. Not as bad. And then this pulley is good. This pulley is decent, and this pulley is noisy. So I've got three spindles, three cheap spindles, and this thing here, which is discontinued. This version of it is, but I found one on the internet, so I ordered that and all that. So that'll be good. We'll get those replaced. It's the standard MO. Every mower I've ever bought, no matter what it is, that's had a deck on it, I've had to replace the spindles. And I know you can rebuild these spindles pretty cheaply, but I'm not going to right now. I'll keep them, and we may do it later. But I'm just not feeling it. So anyway, and I'm not going to replace the blades right now. I'm just going to sharpen them, and that's it. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get you in the stand here, and we'll get doing some pressure washing. Boy, I tell you, that's a messy job, and I still didn't get all of it. I probably need to fire that thing back up and go over that deck one more time. I think I will, but it was spraying water back on me. But anyway, if anybody's curious what kind of pressure washer this is over here, this is a, I'm sure it's a Chinese made deal, but this is called a Power Horse, 3200 PSI, and this is from Northern Tool. They had the best deal going on this thing 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't use it a whole lot, but it's been flawless ever since. So anyway, for anybody that wanted to know, that's what it is. So this thing came out pretty clean enough for, I mean, it's just going to get dirty again. No big deal there. But anyway, so I'm going to let this thing dry for a while. Yeah, I missed the hole inside right there. I'll confess, I'm not the world's best pressure washer, but anyway. So yeah, sprayed the car off a little bit here too, because it's going to be rolling tomorrow, hopefully, good Lord willing. We got a car show here in town, so it'll definitely need to be in attendance. All right, okay, hope you enjoyed. Let's get on with some repairs. Well, I was thinking that these two outer spindles were the only ones that were bad. That was terrible. And this one, a little bit better. Now this one's actually, didn't sound too good either. So that combined with the idler up here making all kinds of racket. This one actually not quite that quiet, but or loud, but probably need to be replaced, but I don't have it. But anyway, we'll deal with that when the time comes. In the meantime, we got our replacement parts. Let's get them put on. Okay, plan B. Violence is what it wants, violence is what it will get. Okay, back to the heat. Piece of shit. Well, beating and banging and pulling went nowhere with this thing, so I'm going in the back way. So I got my cut off wheel over there, and I'm just going to town on this thing. I'm going to cut it until it gives up. If I have to, I'll just, I'll beat it out from this side of it, and then take it in there in the press and press it. But I have a feeling that this bearing, it may be stuck on this bearing, because that's the remainder of the shaft, and it should just slide through there. The spindle shaft, it should slide through those bearings. If that appears to be locked up, this is the bad bearing, the worst. So anyway, just gonna keep on with that. I guess my next thing to do is to cut this bearing in half, or 3 pieces, or 4 pieces, whatever it wants. It'll get it. Okay, so we're in here at the Enforcer. So nothing stands up to the 20-pound press. So I got that thing cut out of there. I should have done that beforehand when I figured out it wasn't gonna do what it needed to do. So I have an impact rated socket in here, and this thing's resting on the last bearing. So let's get down to brass tacks. Because I'd have to order another one of these pulleys, and that's what it wanted. It wanted me to ruin this pulley. That's what it wanted. It may be inanimate, but it wanted me to tear this pulley up, so I had to order another one. Come on. There it goes. Something moved. What moved? Okay. I think I'm going to stand back from this thing. A little. Come out right there. Go to hell. Ah. A puller would have never gotten that off. Nope. You just give it up. Give it up. Give up. Give up. Give up. It's over. Give up. I'm sorry for that bit of rudeness there, but this is how a lot of stuff I work on goes on. You all never see this, but this is how this stuff fights to the very end. It fights to the very last end. I ain't kidding. But you can't be afraid. Sometimes you got to get in here and just put it to it. So, all right, now hopefully I just have a pulley that's not ruined now. Yeah. So I don't know what was stuck. I have a suspicion it wasn't stuck in the pulley on the shaft. It might have been, but probably wasn't helping anything. But it looks to me like this bearing came apart. So I have a suspicion that it was actually stuck on the bearing. Let me get in here. Pick that up. Ow! Boy, that sucker's hot. I saved the key, that's good. I don't know, it all looks terrible. Who knows? Alright, so I'm going to try to see if I can get this key out of here. And then I'm going to call it for today. I'm about whipped. So, alright. We'll pick back up in the morning. Got the spindles all put in and the blades put on the correct way. And all that, so stop right now. Don't go any further. Make sure you watch all this. And I know that belt's not routed the right way. It's just temporary because I had to change that pulley. You have to put the belt around the 2 outer spindles before you put the pulley on. It has to go on together. Because if you get it together and then you try to put the belt on, you're going to be irritated. The center's not a problem. There's plenty of room for it. And then to get the pulley bolts and the blade bolts all tightened up, you just use 2 ratchets. The one for the size for the On the blades is a 15/16, and the one for the pulleys is a 3/4 that falls off. So anyway, that's how you do that. I'll tell you what, in my own personal opinion, I think bad boy mowers could do themselves and their customers a world of good by hiring a competent technical writer to write some instructions on how to do all this. Their manual, you ever read their manuals, they don't tell you anything. You know, just very general. I guess I want you to take it in, which if you're money bags, I guess that's what you do. You take everything in, but I'm not. So I make all my repairs myself. I teach myself how to do it. So it's not the easiest thing to work on these. But, and I did write the date and the hours on the spindles. I want to see how long these cheap spindles last. We'll see. That's what happens when you know, they don't put Zerks in them where you can grease them, because if they do, nobody would sell spindles, would they? And they wouldn't sell the bearings to go in the spindles. And those bearings, all that crap, they were dry as dust in there. There's no lubrication left. If you ever hear anybody say, some manufacturer of some object or car, whatever it may be, and they say, you don't have to worry about it because these are lifetime sealed bearings, well, you can count on that you'll be replacing those bearings, because they don't. That's exactly why they got away from them. Like that car has got all those Zerk fittings, and those do, and new cars don't. That's why you're always seeing them replace wheel bearings and stuff on new cars. And you know, anything that you can't lubricate consistently, repeatedly, it's going to crap out on you, and they want it to. So we all know it. The manufacturers, if they're listening to this, we know it. We know what you're up to. All right, so enough of that. Let's get on with what do we got to do now? We're going to turn this thing back over and put the guards back on it, line the belts up, all that good stuff. We don't have to put the guards on yet, but I've got to check on that tension right there right now. That thing is almost kind of acting like it's not moving, but let me make sure it's doing that. But otherwise, this thing should be ready to go. So, and I guess I'm going to jump on cleaning up that messy situation, and cleaning that up and putting the solenoid in, the battery and all that, and getting this thing back up and running so I can go do the maintenance on it and put the deck back on. Sorry about the noise. It's hay baling day today. Okay, so I spent all the afternoon working and getting everything put back together, the solenoid back on, the wires back on, battery connections, all that. So I think we're good now. If I've done it correctly, should be able to put the seat back down, and yeah, put the brakes on, and we'll see if it'll turn over with the key now, or blow me off the seat, one or the other. Good. Okay, that works. Easy as that. Starter sounds kind of weak, doesn't it? Okay, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is disconnect the battery, and I'm going to take this cover off. I'm going to replace the fuel line because it's looking pretty janky. It's got an old fuel filter and some kind of loose clamp here. It's not doing anything. Clamp down here is off. This looks like bad news, so I'm going to pull the whole thing out and replace it. Okay, done more disassembly here. So got the back cover off this thing, and looking at the engine, it is a greasy mess in here. I think we got a leaking valve cover. This hose was just laying here disconnected, some kind of evaporation deal, and I'm thinking I'm going to need to pull the shroud off of it because I see stuff poking out of here. I think I saw some straw somewhere coming out of somewhere over here. Makes me think that the engine's got stuff blocking it in there, and that'll cut the airflow and that'll burn it up real quick. So I'm gonna get this thing kind of cleaned up some. Check out this gas tank. Look how dirty it is. That is beautiful. And I may end up also taking this starter off and testing it because it sure seems kind of sluggish. But these things, these valve covers, apparently they've just got a Beatus RTV around them. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can even get the bolts loose on it because I think they're known to give you problems. And then we'll just start picking this thing apart little by little. And it had some junk in it, so it's a good thing I did. Kind of packed up right in there. There and down the sides here. Kind of hard to see, but it's in there. Not real bad, but that one spot is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of work on getting that all out of there. It's been sitting out in the rain a lot. That's what happens when it turns everything rusty when you don't put one under the cover. Chewed wiring here, so I had to break out the old liquid electrical tape to kind of stabilize them. That may come back and haunt us, but we'll find out. Well, as the sun sets slowly in the west, so wraps up another work session with this here lawnmower. So I went ahead and just replaced all the fuel line because I didn't trust any of this stuff here whatsoever. Some kind of car fuel filter on it, which is a 5/16, not what's supposed to be on it, and clamps that fit the 5/16. And then this hose is like it sounds funny to say it, but it's like it is swollen in diameter. You can see this is what it is. Maybe. There we go. It's 1/4, 1/4 fuel injection. It's good stuff, but it is just old and cracking, and so on and so forth. And I don't trust any of that. None of that. So it's not good looking stuff. So we're getting rid of all that. It's all going away. And then I ran out. I didn't get enough. I got 4 foot, but it has to run from all the way over here, around in there, and it comes back out back here. And I just ran out. So I do have another filter. I got a bunch of these filters in there, so I'll throw one of these on it. And then what the bugs and the insects are about to take over out here. So anyway, that's that. So we get more of that tomorrow. I did fix this also. It's got a little clip on it. I don't know where that goes. Probably doesn't even fit in anything anymore. But anyway, some kind of this engine is an emission control engine, by the way. A lot of you old timers be glad to hear that. Ain't like it used to be, is it? And this oil filter, I can tell this thing has probably not been serviced in quite a long time. As you look how much gunk is on the oil filter. And then the oil plug is behind it back there. I don't know if you'll see it, but it is. It's way, you got to be proud of Kohler for figuring out where the most hard to reach place for the oil plug would possibly be. And they did it. There's one back here, buddy, so you can't even see it. Now you probably can because you're in there and I'm not. Let's see if I can get a light down in there. There's one back there. Yep, there it is. Right in there. So, I don't know. Take your pick. Probably the one on the other side is probably going to be the one to use. So if this thing runs for a while, sounds like it's going to last, then I'll probably put in a pipe and a drain. It's easier to get to. They make them. I'm very suspicious of these. I've seen some of these little yellow things you're supposed to put on there, and it's plastic, and you just twist it and pull it out. Well, I don't trust those because I just feel like it could rot away or loosen up or hit a bump. This yard's got a lot of bumps in it. Hit a bump the wrong way, and the thing opens up, and kaboom! There goes your $1,000 engine. So I'll be very careful about that. I may just live with the plug, but I also have to reseal the valve cover, which I didn't even come close to getting to that today anyway, but this has got, these valve covers are, somebody's probably already done it, but this has got orange sealer on it, which is in and of itself is not necessarily a problem, but it didn't work, it didn't last, and that's what seals them. There is no gasket. So but I think what you use in this application is a different product. It's kind of like anaerobic sealant, because there's supposed to be a very almost unmeasurable gap between that valve cover and the head. But we'll get that fixed. And I did manage to break loose all those bolts in there without breaking them so far. Knock on wood, knock knock. So they did come out. I haven't even messed with that one. That's not leaking. So it's not leaking. I'm not messing with it. And then change the oil filter, change the air filter, and put it back together. A lot of work. This thing was extremely neglected. I mean, extremely. It's like nobody ever serviced it. Nobody ever lubricated it. Nobody ever cleaned it. Nobody did anything. They just got on it and used it till it probably wouldn't start one day. And just, that was it. And this is probably the culprit. Well, I know it's one of the culprits. I don't know how my buddy managed to get it started. Well, I kind of do, but you know, it's hard to see this thing because it doesn't want to cooperate with me. But camera, I may throw you down and stomp on you, but let's try this. This is the, there we go. That's the, no. Come on. Oh, this thing just doesn't like that. So you're just gonna have to try to bear with me here. That's the remains of that trigger wire terminal that went on the solenoid, which is just spazzing out the camera. And you can see it's got the remains, hopefully you can see it's got the remains of the spade terminal in it, and it is expanded to about twice its normal size there. So it just fell right off. So that thing was probably the whole thing, you know. And I don't know. I don't need to try to make any judgments about different people or anything who owns things, but you know, there's just people that, I guess, probably money bags. You know, money bags are money bags because they just, you know, they're consumers, and when something quits working, they don't ever want to be unhappy, so they just park it and just go get another one. You know, I know a guy on YouTube did that. He had one of these, like one of these at Husqvarna, and he's an old man anyway, but he just quit working, so he just went and bought another one, bought a grasshopper. You know, I wish I had that kind of money. Well, no, I don't really, because I'm happier fixing things and making sure that they're gonna live. You know, I don't get anything out of going to a store just to replace something that can be fixed. Not me. All right, well, we'll get back on this tomorrow, good Lord willing. Well, that's the stuff that I guess Kohler put on from the factory to seal the valve cover. And it looks like just high temp orange stuff you could get at the corner parts store. Nothing special, but we're going to use something different when it goes back together. I'll show you what it is. So in the meantime, I'm going to scrape it off. So what we're going to use on this is, it's called Mega Gray OEM Import Gasket Maker. So you read the back of the instructions here, back of the package, I guess you would say, if we ever can. You know how this thing works. But anyway, it says high rigidity, high vibration, and ideal for closely spaced bolt patterns found on import engines, but can be used on domestic engines. Mega Gray has excellent durability and remains more flexible than conventional gaskets. That's the Coyotes. Resists aging, weathering, and will not harden, shrink, or crack. Use to place most gaskets in rubber, cork, felt, paper, composite, and other silicone gaskets. Valve covers, water pump, intake. So this stuff works very well. And the thing you need to know about this is It's a different formulation. It's not like the good old crap you buy, that's the cheap crap that smells like vinegar. Matter of fact, the way you tell is, sorry for this camera. This camera's just a stoop sometimes, but the way you tell is it says sensor safe, low odor, and non-corrosive. So that's the stuff you want to use, and you don't have to put a whole bunch on it because this valve cover's got a pretty tight fit on it. So what you can kind of infer from that is that maybe Japanese and other engines of the ilk use a lot tighter tolerances than American engines. Go figure. Alright, on with that. On this valve cover. So I think that's going to work. So I think the next thing we need to do is get rid of this old used air filter. A little bit. Yep. That's a beauty, ain't it? See that. Yeah, it needed it. It did look like it was kind of, I don't know how good a that thing is. I think I need to clean this up, but I've got another one to go in it, hopefully. Yeah, that's nice. It's not as tall, is it? Right. What's the deal here? That's the one they say goes on it. Nope, does not. Right, let's use the old one, get another one. All right, so this thing makes a pretty tight fit, so I'm gonna run this thing just for now, temporarily. But I'm gonna get the right one. Now, what kind of idiot sells an air filter it's not the right one? That's what it said it took. Looked right at it. And checked and double checked, and it's too short. That's what you get. Bunch of junk. Side cover back on. I'm going to leave this one off until I make sure there's no leaks or anything else weird going on. And I did put the new fuel line and fuel filter on all the way up to the engine. And I got the deck back on and lubricated everything. I still haven't repaired this bend in this line, but that's not critical because this deck, that's just for lifting the deck up. You have to, I guess, get under it for some reason. One thing I need to do is straighten up this. Looks like we need to straighten up this chute here. I don't know what quite happened with that, but it has not only are the tabs bent there for that, I got the holder there for it, but it's got bent, really bent. It's bent back there. Looks like it's bent up here, so we'll take the hammer and pow, pow, pow. All right, I got that flap straightened out pretty good and got that bullet bars off of it. So I think everything is back together. So I have not put on the guards for the pulleys yet. I want to make sure that this, make sure this belt is where it should be, and it is. So check the oil, it's full of oil. It's got gas in it. Hook the battery back up. So let's put the seat back down. Put the clip, safety clip back up so you don't go falling off of it. And we will see if this thing will run. Alright. Have to make sure the brake's on. Just to have some choke on that throttle. 177 hours. That's funny, isn't it? Make sure that thing's off. Okay. Nothing yet. What's up? Nothing in there. This thing doesn't have a shut off. Yeah. Gas in it. That starter doesn't sound good. We got nothing. Nothing. Alright, well, it tells me that we're going to have to give it a prime. This fuel pump must have lost its prime. Hopefully the pump's not going out. Why would that happen? Alright. Yeah, we'll open that choke up a little bit. Yeah, okay, I'm back. Can't really get into this thing too well. Alright, put the arc cleaner on again. We don't have a fireball here, hopefully. There we go. Okay, try it again. Try it again. I think that thing needs a carburetor overhaul because it's just kind of, it's not the smoke, but it's just kind of it doesn't have all the power it should have when you engage the deck. Just kind of, it's not really all the way there. I'll let it run, warm up, and burn all that crap off there. This thing's set somewhere a long time not being used, so it wouldn't shock me if it needs the carburetor going through. We'll do it. Here I was kind of up and down, up and down. That's something in the carburetor problem. All right, well, I'll let this thing kind of run a while. See if it kind of straightens up. I'm going to give it some testing here probably in a little bit also.